Alright, so I've never really done anything like this before. I've always theory crafted and stuff, and but I've never made any kind of videos or put any kind of content out there to really share. So I thought I'd give this a go. Cross to get this first cut. There's going to be a lot of editing, I'm sure. I wanted to look at a card that I kind of felt like never really got full support. It was good for a period of time, and then it just sort of faded into the background, and that's Oblivitron, the Hunter Legendary, which has a death rattle, summon a mech from your hand and trigger its death rattle. It had so many potentials, and the limiter being the fact that it would summon a mech, so it meant you can go with like Sylvanas, stuff like that. You could still go with Sneeds and some others. But we've just had Darkmoon, Madness at the Darkmoon Faire recently announced, and we're starting to get our first trickle of cards coming through. There's going to be quite a few each day leading up to the release. And one of the ones that we've just had is Darkmoon Tonk, which is a 7 mana 8/5 death rattle, fire 4 missiles at random enemies that deal 2 damage each, and it is a mech. So I got to thinking, okay, well, could we maybe revive Oblivitron with this? Could this be some sort of OTK? There is the random element that you're going to be hitting minions, so a beefy board is going to soak up a lot of damage. I got to crunching some of the numbers using typical cost reduction methods such as Thurisson to see whether this combo was really viable or not, even if you account for the random damage being thrown around. And so I started to have a look, and I think the most standout thing was the fact that actually the damage potential on this, although it doesn't all go face, is very high. With the perfect set of conditions, the perfect storm, the cost reductions going right, still only one Thurisson tick, you can get 100+ damage out of this OTK. And hopefully enough goes face that you kill your opponent. So what we're looking to do is reduce the cost of Oblivitron with Galvanizers would be nice. Those are just a little tech thing in there to help you if you really struggle along the way. They don't really need to hit the Darkmoon Tonks because you're going to be summoning those for free, essentially, with the combo. 9 lives is in here in case you're in a matchup where you need to just throw out the Oblivitron and maybe just get some Darkmoon Tonks going to control the board and try and, get to that later game state. 9 lives might be able to help you by discovering Oblivitron, triggering its death rattle, and therefore getting you some extra tech for free. So that's in there as a viable option should you not be able to get it online when you want to. But what you're going to do on the turn that you've got everything going right, ideally a Thurisson proc. Failing that, some Galvanizer ticks would be good. You're going to be playing Rivendare. Rivendare goes down. You're then going to be playing Oblivitron. You're going to put a single play dead onto Oblivitron, and it will summon both Darkmoon Tonks, thanks to Rivendare, and both of those Darkmoon Tonks will trigger their death rattles twice, because of the way that the intrinsic death rattle summoning works with Oblivitron. So that's already 32 damage, and that's, say you get one, you'd need both Galvanizer ticks. Would you need both? No, you would only need one. One Galvanizer tick and one play dead. Rivendare and Oblivitron and both Darkmoon Tonks in your hand. It's a bit of an ask. Generally speaking, you're going to be keeping these cards back. Or even if you did play them and you use them via 9 lives, you're still looking at a lot of damage here from an early standpoint. If you get the Thurisson tick going, you want to play Rivendare, play Oblivitron, you want to hit it with a 1 play dead, which will summon both Tonks, as previously mentioned. Then you can just rip the Feign Deaths. Because if you get a tick on both Feign Deaths, 1 play dead is all that's really needed for this side of the combo, Rivendare and Oblivitron, you are able to just go in, essentially. And then those Feign Deaths will trigger both Tonks twice thanks to Rivendare, meaning that every time you trigger, you're adding 32 damage to your total. And then a single play dead that's left over, if you've still got the mana for it, you can just activate one of the Tonks again for a further 16 damage. So you're looking at some pretty nutty damage totals. I'm really looking forward to messing around with this. I kind of want to play with it right now. 9 lives can lead to more damage because you'd be able to use 1 to trigger the Oblivitron. The only downside is that there's a potentiality that 9 lives putting, I can't remember exactly how the interaction works. It might put Oblivitron into your hand first, and then summon Oblivitron, which will then summon the Tonk, so it's not like it's actually a massive issue, it's just board space. Say if you've got other stuff on board, you might have to look at maybe trading if there's the potentiality for that. But the second 9 lives could trigger a Darkmoon Tonk, for example. So you'd really want to discover a Tonk first, and then discover an Oblivitron to pull the other Tonks out of your hand if you've had to use them at an earlier date. But this is a combo that's going to result in a lot of damage no matter how you look at it. I'm personally really excited. Some of the early reveals that we've had going on for the upcoming cards, I feel like there's a lot of old archetypes and a lot of old cards that might see some play again. So yeah, that's the Oblivitron Fiesta. Not a guaranteed OTK, but I think there's a lot of damage to be had there, and that's for sure.